This video is going to be about how has my life been in recent years, and I will try to just keep it short for maximum 10 minutes or something like that. It's just going to be one take and not so much editing in this video. So I'm just going to get something to drink. I probably suffered from anxiety my whole life, but it was first when I was 12 years old that I found out that I had anxiety, and it was fear of dying, some anxiety related to fear of dying. But I wanted to talk in this video about how my life has been in recent years. And in 2018 I went to this kind of sports folk school, idrætshøjskole, in Ikast in Vejle, where I was going because I was chasing my dream of becoming a professional football player. But 3 months into the stay here, I suddenly began to feel really bad. I began to just hyperventilate a lot, and I have done that earlier in my childhood. But here in 2018, I just really began to hyperventilate more than I have ever done before, and I couldn't stop it. I couldn't relax. So I got the belief that I couldn't breathe or something like that. So I became afraid to go anywhere. I thought that if I couldn't breathe, I couldn't go nowhere. So I had to kind of stop at Easy, the sports folk school I went to. I had to stop there immediately because I felt so bad. And this was in the end of October 2018. In the end of October 2018, I began to feel like this. And I just have to catch my breath. Maybe it's not also easy to talk about, but that's 6.5 years ago. This man. It's I'm just thinking about what have I been through for the last 6.5 years. You know, I never thought my life should end up like it has been for the last 6.5 years. It has been very, very difficult. So yeah, I had to stop at Easy immediately because I was hyperventilating so much. Then I went back to live with my grandma. Before I started at Easy, I also lived with my grandma for some months, but that is another story I can talk about. But then it became 2019, and I was still hyperventilating a lot. I began to lose a lot of weight because I hyperventilate so much that it was difficult for me to eat, and I couldn't go out from my grandmother's. House. This is kind of scaring me talking about this, but somehow I maybe also feel it's some kind of healing also to talk about it. But I began to, I don't know what to say. I almost get speechless. In 2019, I really lost a lot of weight because I hyperventilated so much. I had the belief that I couldn't breathe, and when you think you can't breathe, you can't do almost anything. I couldn't do anything. So if you think you can't breathe, how can you then go out for a walk? How can you then drive car or do anything? And then in May of 2019, I began to feel a bit better, but I couldn't play football still because I was feeling bad. But then I had an idea to start a website that in Danish was called veganerforlivet.dk. In English, that is vegan for life.dk. I don't want to talk so much about that here. We can talk about that in another channel. I'm just going through the years what happened. But then I made this news website where I could travel around the country again, and I was making vegan news and promoting being a vegan and something like that. Then during the summer of 2019, I went to a mentor. I've had a mentor in my life, or however you can call it. I went to live with him for 2 months. Then after that, I went to, how do you say it, a psychiatric hospital where I was, I don't know how to say it in English. Der var jeg blev indlagt på et psykiatrisk sygehus i september starten af september 2019, og der var jeg i 5 uger. Nej, jeg var der faktisk i 7 uger, men efter at jeg havde været der i 2 uger, der fik jeg at vide, at jeg skulle udskrives, fordi jeg var sund og rask. But I didn't feel good at that time, so that's why I went to that place. But they told me that nothing was wrong with me, that I was feeling well. But then I was still during the summer and when I was making this vegan for life, I felt a little bit better. I could travel around again, but then when I stopped living at my mentor's place, the hyperventilating came back and I had no place to live. So I found a place to live where I could be for a short time until I would find a good apartment. And then I found my old apartment 1.5 months later. And I could actually walk by it. It's nearby here. Maybe we should do that. Then I will go back with this chair. We could also just finish the story here, then I can show you. Then we can walk over there after, and I can show you where I was living. But in the end of 2019, I moved into this new apartment, and then for the next 2 years, I had so much anxiety that I could not leave my apartment for 2 years. It was just getting worse and worse, and I was diagnosed with a psychiatric diagnosis, or however you say it, and then I got some medicine against this diagnosis, or however you say it, but it didn't really help me. I gained a lot of weight and suicidal thoughts began. So now we are in the beginning of 2020, and then in April 2020, I felt so bad that I wanted to take my own life. In April 2020, that is 5 years ago now. It's the 1st of May, so it's a little bit over 5 years ago now. But in April 2020, I felt so bad that I wanted to commit suicide. I love life. I love myself. Or I don't know if I love myself, but I was happy for who I am. I actually think I kind of love myself. I actually kind of think that I loved myself back then. But I just had so much anxiety. I didn't know what was happening. What the nurses or doctors or psychiatrists were telling me or something like that. It didn't really help, and the medicine I got didn't really help as well. So yeah, I could not see myself get well again. So I thought that it was better to take my own life, to make an end of the pain and the struggles I was going through. So but we could also talk about this more in detail in another video. But to make a long story short, I decided in the last second or so, I decided to give life a new chance, and I'm so happy today that I chose life, because this means that I'm sitting here right now and still having my life back. So when I decided to take my life back in April 2020, after I also decided to commit suicide, but then I turned around in the last second and decided to take my life back. And after I did that, it became the summer of 2020, and I gained more weight during that year. In the fall of 2020, I think I was weighing, maybe, how much did I weigh? I was 25-30 plus kilos overweight. This is not easy to talk about. I have already made a few videos about this on my YouTube channel. They are in Danish. You can go in and, this is here. I could put some more footage in about how I was looking and something like that. But in this video, I just want to talk about what happened. And then maybe I can edit a better video at some point where I can put the footage in. But you can go out and check a video. There are some videos on my channel already about the journey in the last years. But I just want to give you an insight into how the last years of my life have been. But then we came to the summer of 2020, and for the rest of 2020 I couldn't do anything. after that, or I don't know how to say it right in English. I get a feeling of shame right now. You can maybe see that I'm looking down like this. So but at the same time I also feel proud of myself. So yeah, in 2020 for the rest of 2020 I couldn't almost do anything as well, but I had decided that I wanted to get my life back. So in November of 2020 I began to talk with a psychotherapist where that became the healing for me. But for the first 2 months I talked to him, it didn't really work, and then it became or didn't really work. We can go in detail with that in another video, but it was November 2020 I began to talk with a psychotherapist, and then it became the New Year, the New Year's Eve. I was with my mom and her boyfriend's place, and then I told myself I decided that in 2020 I'm gonna take my life back no matter whatever it takes. But also at the day in April 2020, when I decided to get my life back, I also told myself back then that I would get my life back no matter whatever it took. But it was on New Year's Eve 2020, I looked myself in the mirror and I told me, tomorrow, or something like this, tomorrow, I don't know if it was exactly like this I said, but I thought that from the 1st of January and then in 2021, that is going to be the year where I would get my life back. So it became 2000. Now there was just a cloud that is covering the sun up here. It's just a little one, so I think the sun will come back soon. Damn, I'm really good looking. And it became January 1st, 2021, and I think I remember I had a good start to the year where I was trying to make some healthy food. At this point I was really overweight. I had for the first 2 months of January, wow, something is happening right now. There's coming some really good feelings up inside of me. I don't know if there's a confidence that is growing inside of me right now. I can just feel some really good emotions. I can feel some really good energy right now, and I don't know what it is or what is happening, but thank you Father for this moment right here. Thank you that I'm loved. Thank you that I'm appreciated, and thank you that I'm good enough as who I am. You know, I'm a champion, and I'm a champion, and I can do all things through Christ. I deserve to live, and I deserve to be here. I just went to the dentist 2 days ago where I got 2 of my teeth removed, so that is why my cheek here is swallowed. Wow, just before I was having a lot of shame or something like that, but I just feel more confident right now. But then for the first 2 months of 2021, there was not the biggest progress, but I was determined to get my life back. I was taking a picture of myself every day to track my progress. But then in March or so, there began some progress. And then in April of 2021, I began, and it was of course March 2021 I talked about before. But then in April of 2021, a breakthrough began to come. I began to lose weight. And in the next half year of 2021, from April 2021 to the to the fall of 2021, I lost 25 kilos in a half year. And we can talk about that in another story, but then it became September 2021, I think. I had lost 25 kilos in 6 months. And then at that point or so, it was September, then it became October, and then it became November. I was still talking a lot to my psychotherapist. It has helped a lot also for me to get better. I learned to have my emotions. I began to learn to have my emotions or something like that. Also this we can talk about in another video. Now I feel like I'm gonna excuse myself. I'm just going through the years of what happened here for the last 6.5 or 7 years or so. So by the fall, or by September, October, November of 2021, my life was so much better. I have lost 25 kilos of overweight in a half year. but I didn't feel like I had my life 100% back. But I have come a long way. I felt like maybe I had my life 80% back or so, but there was still 20% anxiety that made it difficult for me. But then it became Then it became the New Year's Eve of 2021, you know, the shift from 2021 to 2022. And then something happened in that beginning of the year. I could make a whole video about that, but I don't think I will go into it in this video here. But in the beginning of 2022, something happened that pushed me to take my life back the last 20%. Let me just say I got a really big heartbreak, and that really motivated me to get the last part of my life back. So I was sitting left and having 20%. Okay, there was still 20% anxiety that is making it difficult for me. And then I was also really heartbroken at that time. And I said, you know, okay, I don't want to sit back here in my house and have 20% anxiety and be heartbroken. Then screw this last 20% of the anxiety. And then I thought, okay, I'm gonna go out and take the rest of my life back or something like that. And then during 2022, I began to train in the gym again. I began to play football again. And I think I also began to ride with the bus again, some short turns, some short drives out to my psychotherapist. All in all, I got my life back in 2022. And hej Jakob, hej Ann. Kommer jeg lige og siger hej til kameraet? Nå. Nå. Forstyrrede mig, hvad vil det sige? Det kan du gøre nu. Så gør det nu.
Nej, nu ved de det.
Nå. Det vil altså se sjovt ud. Det vil være godt content. Det her det er min ven Jakob. Og vi har hans kæreste Anne herovre bagved. Du ser godt ud. Hvad siger du? Det gør du også, Jakob.
Ja, jo tak. Lige måde.
That was just my friend Jacob that came. My friend Jacob and his girlfriend Anne that came there. So what was I talking about? I was talking about in 2020. Wow, I become happy now that I saw them. You know, it's also something that related to a good life. Make sure to get some good friends that you can hang out with, that you can talk to, and something like that. That is very important for a good life. So what? So yeah, in 2022 I got my life back after 4 years or so where I really had to fight for my life every day. And I was so happy for that. I was so happy. Maybe I have some of the messages from back then I sent out to people. It makes me emotional right now. It also makes me a little bit shy. Makes it difficult for me to look in the camera right now. But then we came into 2023. I got a great beginning to 2023. I took the bus to Kolding, which was very difficult for me. But I went there to attend something called Real Magic Live, an event that one of my mentors was holding, or however you say it, in Kolding. And it was free. It was in a weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And going out to do that was difficult for me. But we can talk about that in another video. But I went out to this event and it was a great experience for me. And then we came to the end of January. I began to miss my dad a lot. Prior to this, I cut the contact with him early in 2022. We can talk about that in another video. But I began to miss him in the beginning of January 2023. So my psychotherapist encouraged me to reach out to my father. But it ended up being a very bad contact with him. So during February I came in bad contact with him over text, where he wrote something to me that really scared me, and maybe it has caused complex PTSD. So it ended up I had to tell the police that I told that my father should not contact me anymore, that I didn't wanted him in my life. And I had to tell my father that if you keep contact me, then I will call the police. And he kept contacting me, and it scared me so much. So I had to contact the police 3 times to get them to tell my father that he should not contact me. So yeah, but this can be another story for itself. So in 2023, I because of this unwanted contact with my father, I felt really bad, and it made me feel really bad. Because of that unwanted contact for the last 2 years or so, I have been almost just lying in my bed the whole day, because it has caused so much emotional pain, so much trauma or something like that. I have a lot of videos, I have a lot of footage of it. So, you know, I got my life back in 2022 after 4 years of hell or something like that. And then in the beginning of 2023, I don't know if I got a setback or so, but it has not been easy for me in the last 2 years. It has been very difficult for me again. I had not been fighting for my life the same way I did from 2018 to 2022, but it has been very difficult for me to live my life. I've just been laying in bed almost all day. The whole summer of 2023, the whole summer of 2024, it was good weather outside, but I was just laying in my bed and having so much pain. So yeah, we can talk about also that in other videos. But then that in 2023, because of what happened with my father, I felt so bad again. So for the whole of 2023, I was just mostly in my apartment. I could get out again, but I just had so much pain that I was drained for energy. I had no energy for anything. It was very difficult for me to clean, to cook food. And so 2023, it was like that. And it was the same in 2024, even though in March of 2024 I had the energy to make a talk about my life. Yeah, it's on YouTube in Danish. But 2024 it was mostly also just lying in my bed. And then in September of 2024 I moved from my old apartment to the apartment I live in right over here. And you know, then it has become 2025, and I got a great beginning to the year where I was training, winter bathing, trying to cook some healthy food for myself, trying to clean my apartment, going out, meeting other people and something like that. But then yeah, I think I talked about have I talked about that in one of the other videos I have already posted. You know, then I had such a great beginning to this year that I began to take train and bus again, and that was great victories. That was great successes for me. But it also, when you work with anxiety exposure, it can also drain your energy. So it drained my energy so much that I went out and took bus and train again. So I had no energy to do anything in February and March. I was just lying in my bed again, and then I felt I couldn't train. And then I felt I couldn't work towards becoming fit and in great shape, so it just made me feel like I was going straight towards depression. But then I reached out to HelpBank, the HelpBank community, where I have talked to some good people, where they have helped me come back on track again. And now I have taken action on doing this, where I'm showing you how my life is right now, showing how I get my life back on track, showing how I make my dreams come true, showing my way back to playing football and creating the life that I really want. And also inspiring you to make your dreams come true, to inspire you to make your dreams come true, no matter how difficult your life looks like, which is also gonna be the purpose of the Rise of Ronaldinho. But yeah, now we are here. It's the 1st of May, and that is how my life has been. That is how my life has been in recent years. That is how my life has been in recent years. I know I could probably do this better, but I just wanted to make an easy video for me where I didn't have to edit that much. Check out some of the videos I have already posted on my channel, where you can see some of my journey with pictures and videos, and then at some point I can maybe make some better videos. Now I don't want to say this video is bad, but I can maybe make some videos that are more scripted maybe, or where the editing is probably better or something like that. I don't want to say that this is bad or that I can make better videos, but I hope you get the point of what I say. I'm doing the best I can, and that is good enough for me. So let's round the video off here. I could I have this office chair here I'm sitting on, so I can just go in with that in my old apartment, and then I can go into that with my apartment just right over here, and then I can just go around the corner to my old apartment, and then I can show you where I was living for 4.5 years, where I was fighting for my life. I couldn't go out or anything. Then we can maybe walk around in the area. I can show you some things, you know. I'm sitting here in Byparken, and my old apartment is just around the corner here also. But just going over here, it was very difficult for me. So also that we can talk about in another video, but I can just show you shortly. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Remember to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and you know, make a lot of comments. I don't know what to say now, so you can find out what you want to tell me in the comments or something like that, or write in the comments, you could say. Yeah. Also share this video with everyone you know and everyone you don't know, and remember that it's all right to be you. You deserve to live the life you want to live. It's all right to live your dreams, and you can make your dreams come true. You know, I don't know if we will get born again or something like that, but I do know that we have this one life, and for me it's about getting most out of this life. It's about making all of my dreams come true, because when we make our dreams come true, I think, in my experience, that is when I feel best. Because when I make my dreams come true, it means that I'm authentic. And I think the key to live a good life is to be authentic. So how are we authentic? That is when we make our dreams come true. So go out. It's all right for you to make your dreams come true. Your dreams are possible. If you don't know what your dream is, or if you don't know how to do it, that is also all right. You can tell me in the comments what your dream is, or maybe you can tell me in the comments that you don't know what your dream is, but that you would like to make your dreams come true, or something like that. Ask me in the comments how you can make your dreams come true, and I would love to help you make your dreams come true. Because I think the key to solving the problems in the world is that we all make our dreams come true. Because if we make our dreams come true, then we are happy, then we live a good life. Then we are not pointing fingers at others or blaming others. When we are making our dreams come true, then we are taking full responsibility for our own life. And that is one of the keys to solving all of the problems in the world, or however you say it. But let's round the video off here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know if I enjoyed it, but I think somehow I enjoyed it. It has been a bit difficult to make this video, because maybe I was afraid that I didn't do it good enough. But you know, we are just getting started. So imagine in 3 years when I have grown this channel and we can look back at this, and I'm maybe making better videos. Then imagine going back and looking at this, you know. But this is also to show you I could make it more better, these videos. I could make this video more perfect, but this is also to show you that you don't have to be perfect to get started. But I don't want to go too much closer, but it was up here. Yeah, I didn't have a good experience with the landlord when I was living there, in the end of living there, so I don't want to go too much closer there right now. But it was up there. I was living for 4.5 years, and I was really fighting for my life for 2 years. For 2 years I couldn't get out of that apartment. Just going out here on the street. And so yeah, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and tell me in the comments what you think about this video. Share it with everyone you know and with everyone you don't know. And remember that life is always worth living. Life is always worth living. You are good enough as you are, and you deserve to make your dreams come true. See you in the next video. Bye bye.